Hi, I'm Deb Malone, and welcome to the second in our series of live stream seminar events. Today's guest is Rob Hellman, president of Hellman Career Counseling. Rob is going to talk to us today and share with us a very specific strategy and techniques that you can use immediately to build your brand and visibility and get results on LinkedIn. Rob is well placed to guide you on LinkedIn. His book, Advanced LinkedIn, updated annually and now in its fourth edition, places LinkedIn in the context of other social media platforms for business advancement. Rob is also a LinkedIn certified professional recruiter and has partnered with LinkedIn to train their key corporate clients and is designated by LinkedIn as a Help Forums expert. Rob has also helped hundreds of individuals and organizations to optimize business development and recruiting using this platform. He's a regular contributor to Forbes, and his insights have also appeared in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Money Magazine, ABC News, NBC News, and much more. So welcome, Rob. Why don't you tell us, as a business or nonprofit, why should we be on LinkedIn, and give us a quick overview about how LinkedIn works.
Well, first off, thanks everybody for joining us. Deb, thanks for that great introduction. I appreciate it. And let me answer your questions. Let me start off by answering your questions. So first off, you want to go as a business where your audience is. And there's a very good chance that your audience is on LinkedIn. Now, for some businesses, the audience isn't going to be on LinkedIn. I have colleagues and clients who are like, maybe their business is very visual, so they end up being more on Facebook or Instagram or something. I have one who's like a photographer, for example. That makes sense. But for most of us, LinkedIn is the place where you're going to want to be, or one of the places where you're going to want to be. You probably have clients or customers already on LinkedIn. You have prospects or decision makers on LinkedIn, potential partners, and also talent, people you want to hire. And they're on LinkedIn as well. I mean, in business now, LinkedIn and HR, it's like their first stop if they're trying to recruit somebody, because they know how effective it is. And so you want to have a presence, especially if you're looking to hire people. And also if you're looking to prospect as well for your products and services. So to answer your second question, which is, a little bit more about how to, what you can use LinkedIn for and how it works. First off, one other thing I just want to mention is you probably don't need to pay anything. You can use LinkedIn for free. I'll get into some of the exceptions in a few minutes. I just wanted to mention that. And the way LinkedIn works is that and most of you probably know this, but I'll just give you a quick refresher just in case. That, this is my network many, many years ago. At this point, they have probably 3,000 connections. But, at this time, maybe 10 years ago, I had 381 connections, first-degree connections, people who accepted my request to connect, or I accepted their request to connect. Those first-degree connections have their own first-degree connections. Those are my second degree, 2 degrees away. And those second-degree connections have their own first-degree connections as well. That's 3 degrees away. So just from my initial 381 direct connections, my immediate network, I can actually get access to over 5 million people. But it's actually a lot more than that if you think about LinkedIn groups and you want to join groups, because if you join LinkedIn groups, you can message anybody in a group and they can message you, and you're more likely to show up in their search results if you share a group and all that. So it could be, you could be accessing millions and millions of people through even a small network and joining groups. And the last thing I want to mention, we'll talk about this more in a second, is, the company page is another thing you want to have on LinkedIn where you can build a following. We'll talk more about that in a second. And you want to use LinkedIn for business development, for identifying partnerships, for being found. So when I talk about business development, people are searching on LinkedIn for you, for your products or services. I, as a career and executive coach and a LinkedIn expert, I get found all the time by clients just through searches on LinkedIn. That's just me, but any business, whatever we'll give you specific examples in a few minutes. It can be valuable to be on LinkedIn just because people are doing searches for people with companies with your skill set. So you want to be found. You can also want to reach out to the right people and organizations. You want to reach out to key decision makers that would be interested in your products or services. You can do that with LinkedIn. Makes it easy to network, to get introductions to those people, and even to reach out cold to those people. You want to engage customers and prospects, meaning keeping in touch with them. LinkedIn makes it easy to keep in touch. It's very hard for a lot of businesses to keep in touch with their customers and prospects. They don't know exactly how to do it, or LinkedIn makes it easy. And also for building a following. Your followers are much more likely to buy your services and your products or work for you. So you can build a following on LinkedIn. You want to use it for recruiting and also for research, for researching competitors and trends and things like that. So, next question, Deb.
Well, I mean, how do you get it set up properly? And what's the difference between a company page and your LinkedIn profile?
Sure. Okay, great questions. And first off, now, this seems obvious, this slide, right? But a lot of people get it wrong in the sense that they try to use LinkedIn without being set up properly first. So I definitely would advocate taking one step back to take 3 steps forward. Get set up properly first, then use it. Here's what I mean by getting set up properly. First, you want to create a company page. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. But you want to create your company presence on LinkedIn, assuming you have a company. And then you want to optimize your LinkedIn profile, which will include linking to your company page and having your employees link to your company page on their profiles. Then the third thing you want to do, once you have a great profile, you want to build your network strategically, because there's only one chance to make a great first impression. So you want to do your profile first, make it fantastic, because once you start reaching out to people to build your network, they're going to be looking at your profile and you want it to be great. You want to join groups, so you can do 3 and 4 about the same, at the same time roughly. And then lastly, you want to engage. You want to engage your audience, via posting, sharing, liking posts and all that, and that was a great way for keeping in touch. So you asked about your company page, and what is a company page and how's it different from a profile? You would ask that question, Deb. So let me clarify. Your profile is all about you. It goes with you. If you leave your current company, if you close your company and open another one, your profile is still going to be there. It's still going to be the same. Okay, and it's about you personally as a business owner or business executive building relationships that can help your business and build that network. So LinkedIn is fantastic for building a network, and any business owner can benefit from a strong, effective network. That's one of the reasons you're members of the chamber, to enhance your network, right? And LinkedIn is another way of creating a fantastic network that you can leverage for mutual benefit. So that's what your profile is about. Now, your company page is a little bit different. It stays with your company. So even if you have, and LinkedIn has a rule actually, if you have more than 10 employees connected to your company page on LinkedIn, if you then close your company or whatever, you can't say, I want to close the company page. If you decide you want to discontinue that company page for whatever reason, you can't do it, because you already have too many employees on LinkedIn, people who may not be even working for you anymore, who have your company listed on their LinkedIn profile. So you'll actually have to work for LinkedIn and get special permission to do something like that. That's just shows you how different the company page is. But the thing that's fantastic about a company page, and it's so important, is because that's where you can build a following for your products and services. And you can exponentially help to get the word out there about your company, because your employees can list that company, can connect right to that company on their LinkedIn profiles. So I hope that's clear. And we'll take questions at the end. The last part of this is a Q&A. So save your questions or already type them in, and we'll take those questions if you have questions about this. So one other important point about the company page is, if you are just a solo entrepreneur, maybe you're just a solo consultant, you're in the chamber, but you're just on your own, the company page is a bit less important, because really your profile is your company. So like me, I work on my own. I bring in people as needed to help me, but I'm really on my own. So that means, while I do have a company page, I put a lot more emphasis on my profile to represent the company, because the company is me. Now, once I start officially hiring multiple employees, then the company page becomes essential and far more important. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, what's interesting, just in terms of the differences and how the company page and the LinkedIn profile should work together, here, think about it this way, okay? Let's take a look at the LinkedIn profile for a second. Now, here's an example of somebody who's a recruiter at Enigma Corporation. This is their LinkedIn profile. Now, I'm going to answer this rhetorical question for you. I won't expect for you to answer it. But, you know, you could see, like, there's Alex Handress, doesn't have a picture, just says recruiter at Enigma Corporation, and has like a one-line summary, right? It doesn't really say anything about in the job description, right? Now let's take a look at this one. This is Karina. She's got a nice picture here. She's got the banner back here, matching professionals with opportunity. And look at what she writes in the summary section. You know, what if you could wake up every day and be super excited to come to work, knowing you have a chance to make a real impact? You know, I am lucky to work for a company that gives me the opportunity to be motivated, you know, all that, right? So what she's doing there, because she's at the front lines in terms of representing the brand as a recruiter, is she's representing the brand. She's putting it in the summary section. So that helps her as in her job. It's going to help her attract great people that might want to work there. And by the way, if you're in business development, you want to do really the same thing, you know, because you're on the front lines, you know, in business development at your company. But it's also going to help her in her career, because if she's a recruiter, if she's in business development, prospective employers want to know that that she knows that she's going to represent the brand well, because she's showing them she can do it because she's representing the brand of her current employer, which leads to another important point. You don't want to micromanage your employees' LinkedIn profiles. They're going to resent it and they'll quit. You don't want to do that. That said, if they are on the front lines, if they are, you know, so I'm going to skip over this for a second here and just get to this. If they're on the front lines, if they're in business development, if they are recruiters, there should be some sort of strategy, a team-wide strategy, where you encourage everybody on the front lines to connect. First of all, connect with the company page. Every employee should do that. That's easy. Just have the company page listed on the profile. But also to represent the brand in their own unique, positive way. I mean, it's got to be personal. It's about when you're with your profile, when you have business development and recruiters, there's a personal element. They're reaching out to their network to bring people in, to bring business in. That said, they should all be representing the brand effectively on the profile. So you want to have that sort of team-oriented strategy there where all those frontline people are representing your brand. Ideally, you know, even with just one or two sentences in the summary section and maybe a couple of sentences in the actual job description in their profile. And then they can do the rest of whatever they want to do with their LinkedIn profile for their career, because every employee, and you know, maybe you're included if you're not the business owner, is looking at LinkedIn in two ways: to help them with their current role succeed and to help them in their long-term career. And you have to respect that. And one more thing I want to mention. So on your profile, it's about your personal brand, which really what differentiates you. You know, what do you bring that is unique about you, or that, you know, people think of when they think of you? Your company page and on business development and recruiting profiles is more the organizational brand, right? Meaning the vision and the mission, the marketing message, maybe the types of employees, what it's like to work there, how leadership inspires, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's a difference between your company page and your LinkedIn profile. Now, I'll just show you really quickly. Yeah, please.
I have a question. All right, the Chamber of Commerce. I could essentially set up a company page for the chamber, correct?
Absolutely, you should do it. Definitely.
And
yeah.
And if I set up the company page, do I approve or delete requests that come into that page?
No, there's no. I'll show you an example of a company page to answer your question. Okay, so I'm going to LinkedIn now, right? Here's how you find. So here, this is a little tricky, but you click on this text box, click on the magnifying glass. It's, you know, there's always a lot of buttons to press. There's 5 different ways to getting to every single thing on LinkedIn. If you get stuck, click under the Me icon and click the Help Center and ask your question. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
I'm going to answer it. So I'm here. I'm going to click on companies. Okay. And let's just take a look. Let's look at Microsoft, which owns LinkedIn. You know, they do it pretty right, you know, in terms of the company page, you know. So there's no approving. That's what I wanted to show you. It's not about approving. It's about messaging, pushing messages out, okay? So, and I'm gonna answer that in another way on the profile too. So, so what they have on the company page, they have their logo, they have a nice banner. There's some things like this thing, life, like what would you like to work here? This is a paid feature on the company page. You have to pay to, this is like a recruiting tool, basically, right? So to get this, but you'll have the overview on here, you'll have the about us, and you'll see these are premium features that I pay for, like employee count, but as we scroll down, it's a little slow, but where are they posting? Yeah, you see they're posting things right down here. So your followers, anybody can follow Microsoft. They can just choose to follow it. You don't approve it. There's a button. Again, it's a little slow on the scrolling, but there's a button which says follow right here. If I want to follow Microsoft, I'm going to get all their updates in my homepage feed. Okay. So that's a way of building relationships and building a following that's going to help you to sell your services and your products and get people into the chamber. Now, your employees, like you, Deb, you should have on your personal profile that you are working for the chamber, right? I mean, you are essentially the chamber at this point, right? I mean, you're the face of the chamber. If there are any other employees, people who are paid by the chamber, they should list it on their profile, So if I went to, I'm going to go to my profile just to show you how that would look, right? Let me just go to view profile. Okay, so on my profile, I list, my company, right? This is my company. You see the logos, the logo, where is it? There it is. The logo's in there. I work for Get5, which is an outplacement and a career services firm. I taught at NYU. I worked at American Express. All those things are on there. I have, other ones on there, JP Morgan Chase. Those are all places I worked for many years. You want the logo to appear. If the logo appears when you enter your experience, that means LinkedIn recognizes the company. It says, oh, you work at that company, and then starts to suggest people to you who might have also had a relationship with that company, and it suggests you to other people who may be doing searches too because you have that thing in common. But this is a great way also of publicizing the company that you work for, publicizing the company page. Does that answer your question, Deb?
Yeah, because I send out. I'll be honest with you, I do not use LinkedIn effectively, which is why I was to have you on as talking about LinkedIn. I do send our Business Matters e-blast out every week through the LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile, but I don't believe I have set up a chamber page. So I need to take a look at that. And I'm also happy to have experts like you on talking about these issues, because I may know things about the Chamber of Commerce, networking, so on and so forth, but I don't know a lot about LinkedIn, which is why I like to bring people in and introduce them to our membership who can provide this service for them, because it is a critical service, and it's becoming more and more critical as the years go on, and especially as you're saying for recruiting, and how people are looking for this for recruiting and for looking for businesses. I see a lot. I get someone's viewed your profile. Well, what does that mean? And I know they're looking at me. Are they finding what they want? Probably not, because I don't think my profile is complete. Is complete. So it's like you say. So how can I improve my organization's being found on LinkedIn? Who should I connect with on LinkedIn?
Sure. Let me answer those questions. Thanks. Those are really great questions. So to be found on your profile, because that is a big reason you want to be on LinkedIn, maybe the main reason people may be searching for you. It's all about the keywords. Really two things, but they're related: keywords and profile completeness. You got to have the words on your profile that people are searching on, so you're going to be found in their searches. And you also want to make your profile as complete as possible. LinkedIn has a little button on your profile editing screen, add new profile section, and it suggests sections you should be adding. Add them. Take those. Right. Take that advice. Make your profile as complete as possible, because there's more opportunities for you to get keywords in. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to do like keyword stuffing. You don't want to make it look like you're obviously stuffing keywords in there, because actually LinkedIn has an algorithm that detects that, and it may prevent you from showing up in searches. Plus, it just doesn't look professional. So you don't want to do that. But that said, try to get the keywords in there naturally. And the way things I would be thinking about are like, what search strings might your audience be entering? Like if you do maybe you're an event planning company, and you want to reach out to event planners at big corporations, what would they be typing in to find an event planning company like you? They probably type in event planning, right? That word better be in your profile, Search within your network using the keywords your target audience is using. Look at the profiles for keyword ideas, right? So what that means is, like, if I was going to LinkedIn, I would just maybe do a people search, right? Click people, and all right. And then let's just to go for the event planning, right? Let's just type in event planning, and there are many more sophisticated ways of searching than this, but let's just start with this for now. And it's doing a people search for event planners, right? And you can narrow that down a lot by clicking all filters, but you might just get some ideas like who's coming up to the top? Like, why are these people coming up to the top? What keywords do they have? Maybe I should put them in my profile too, because that'll help me to come up to the top as well, So anyway, you get the idea. Now, all right, let's see. So, if you're a recruiter, if you're a business owner who's trying to hire people, I would look at the job postings on LinkedIn to see what words or phrases your competitors are using. And basically, honestly, you want to use a lot of the same phrases. You don't want to try to be different. You don't want to say, like, if you're looking for an office administrator or an administrative assistant, you don't want to say office ninja, because no one's ever going to find it if you're looking for an office ninja, if you're recruiting for that, So anyway, check out, company pages or websites for your competitors, and follow thought leaders or journals in your sector to see what words or phrases are in vogue. Those are the things I'd be doing to make sure the keywords are in there. And that I have done that for my own business. Now, what you want to do is you want to have as complete a profile as possible. So I actually have a profile checklist you can download from my website. The profile checklist, if you go to hellmanconsulting.com and then click on resources, click on the resources tab, you will see that profile checklist. You can click on the link, you can download it. It's a very extensive checklist. This is only a tiny excerpt of it, but you want to have these elements in your profile to make it more likely people are going to find you and click on you. You want to have a complete profile, picture, summary. You want to have a picture on there, because if people are looking at your profile and they see one with a picture and one profile without a picture, they're going to click on the profile with the picture because it looks like you're hiding something. So you could test this yourself and see what your own reaction is if you're searching for somebody. Have a keyword-rich headline. More about that in a second. Everything's keyword-rich. Functional descriptions to job titles. Don't just say President Hellman Career Consulting. Like I had that a long time ago. Hellman Career Consulting. I just said president, right? How is that going to help me to be found for anything? No one's searching for president. They're searching for career coach, executive coach, LinkedIn expert, LinkedIn trainer, that kind of thing, right? So those words became really my job title. If you look at my profile, you'll see it, okay? That's how you need to think about LinkedIn. Fill in the job descriptions. It's an opportunity for you to both sell your company and sell and add more keywords that'll help you to be found. Include a current position, have the right organization name, meaning the organization name that will ensure that the logo shows up so LinkedIn will recognize the company. And use all 50 slots in the skills section. It's one of the sections on LinkedIn. It's the one place where you can do keyword stuffing. Just try to stuff it with every keyword you can think of that relates to what you do. Here's an example of a headline. Okay, so the headline is, if you go to the top here, and it's just so important. It's like the first thing people see. So if I go to me, I go to view profile. Okay, there's the headline right there, right? So you see mine is all full of keywords that would help me to be found. And this is like if someone's doing a search, they see my picture, my name, and the headline. The headline is so important on whether they're going to click on me. And it's also important in LinkedIn deciding whether you're going to show up in search results. So you want to create a keyword-rich headline. Like this is the event planner example I was showing you before, right? Crafted in Microsoft Word because it's easy to count the characters. You can only put 120 characters in the headline. have nice separators in there. Like I put these little symbols in there. You can copy and paste them from Word. This is just more examples of what I was talking about. The company logo, have the job title be what you do, not just president, right? Now, let's talk a little bit. You asked also, Deb, about who to connect with and how to build your network, right? So some people advocate connecting with the whole world, like, just quantity before quality. I would say for most of us, with some exceptions, but I'd say for 80 or 90% of the businesses out there, the better strategy is quality first, then quantity. They're both important, but I would say in your profile, you want to connect your personal profile. You want to do quality first, then quantity, meaning, what do I mean by quality? That you know them in some way, you're open to helping them. Or maybe you got a connection request from a stranger. They said, hey, you want to connect? And you look at their profile and you say, maybe they'd be a client or a customer of mine one day, or maybe we can help each other down the road. That's what I mean. It doesn't have to be like you know them super well. Maybe you just met them at a chamber event, you talked for a few minutes, and hey, let's connect. It's as simple as that. For people, there's some, minimal positive relationship there. That's what networking about. This is bigger than LinkedIn. This is really about networking, the definition of true networking. And the reason I say quality first then quantity is because LinkedIn is so good at helping you keep in touch with your quality network. And really, you can do that through the homepage feed. So this is just like if you're on Facebook, it's like the Facebook feed. You click on the homepage, and there's a feed here, and you can post things from your personal profile onto your homepage feed. You can read the posts of others. I would advise looking at this every so often, because if you have a quality network, these things are meaningful to you. If you don't know people in your network, they're not meaningful to you. If you do a search and you say for the event planner example, if you're searching for somebody and you want to find an event planning decision maker, if you have a quality network, you're going to see all these people who can introduce you. Let me just show you again. I'll just do that search again. Event planner, right? Let's just to do this quickly. I'm not doing a really sophisticated search here, right? Let's just do people. Hold on. Okay. So these are, like this person, second degree connection. That means because I know everybody in my network in some way, I have 2 shared connections, I can get an introduction to Nicole, and I'll feel good about it, right? So you might want to look at those second degree connections in particular, and and also you may have first degree connections. But if you did quality, this search is going to mean a lot more to you than if it's just quantity. So connect with 1 billion people, but try to know all of those 1 billion people. That's how I would advocate. What I do if I don't know somebody, I say, hi, Julie, I appreciate your request to connect. Just accept it, as I like to know everyone in my first degree network. I'm curious as to how you came across my profile and or why I decided to reach out. I've gotten business by taking this step. Wow. Okay? So I would advocate building your network quickly. You can import your address book. You can go through the LinkedIn as a people you may know option. Think broadly about your network. It's not just, maybe it's people you worked with 15 years ago, but you didn't dislike them and they didn't dislike you. They're all in your network, You want to build a following. We talked about this, and that's through posting. Building a following through posting. I mean, I post, not nearly as frequently as I should, and I've built a following from that, and I've gotten business from that. And my clients have too, from doing the same thing. You saw how Microsoft was posting on their company page. And you can do that on your personal profile as well. Expand your profile, expand your following by publishing articles, posting updates, sharing and liking posts, and connecting strategically. Now, you can follow anybody on LinkedIn, any individual, without connecting with them. So I could follow Bill Gates. I could go to Bill Gates' profile and click on the follow button, and now I'm following his personal posts. That's different from following the Microsoft company page. But so you can follow both people. So if you are a business owner and you have a company with a bunch of employees, you want a company page and build a following there. And ideally, you maybe would even want to build a following on your personal LinkedIn page too, to expand it even further, that outreach. And we talked about keeping in touch. Now, so anyway, I know we're getting close to the end. Are there any other questions? I think there are a couple more questions you had. Is that right, Deb?
Well, you know what? I think that, a lot of the businesses in the chamber are small businesses, and possibly don't see the need for being on a platform like LinkedIn. Why is it important that small business owners look at these social media platforms and participate and have a presence on them?
Right. This is such an important point. So why is it important? It's so important. I can tell you from personal experience as well as client experiences, because there are people who may be looking for your services on LinkedIn, number one, okay? Now, I'll give you an example. Let's take the chamber, for example, right? There may be businesses saying, I got to network with more people. I got to make connections with more businesses. I'm looking for, even on the level of the chamber, I'm looking for opportunities to connect. What organization can I join that would help me make those connections? Now, they might type in associations or something like that. You want to show up in their search results. And there are many other examples like that. The event planner example I gave, like, you want to be in a place where you can be found. The other reason you want to be on there is because you can find decision makers very easily on LinkedIn. So if you're trying to reach out to people to say, hey, listen, we have something you might be interested in. Why don't we set up a brief call? You want to figure out who those people are that you want to reach out to. LinkedIn makes it super, super easy to do that, okay? So, and basically, there's many, many ways LinkedIn can help you to find decision makers and talent. Now, we don't have time to go through all of them. We're just going to go through, and there are many, okay? Well, I'll just go through one. One of my favorite features of LinkedIn that's free. It's this advanced people search feature, where you can use like Boolean search strings to do very sophisticated searches. So basically, if you look at this, like there's a title field, and you can create like a search string like this. And I'm going to show you where it is on LinkedIn. You can use ands and ors and nots, and you can use quotes and parentheses, to be able to really fine tune who shows up. So in this case, what I did was I said, my hypothesis is I'm looking for an event planner at a big company because I'm an event planning company, and they're the kind of people that could hire me to help with their big events, So what does that mean? I'm looking for someone with a title with the word event in their job title or the word meeting planner in their job title. And I want people at the right level. I don't want junior people. I want decision makers. So that's where the and comes in. And I list a whole bunch of senior level job titles, director or VP, advisor. You see what I did, right? I don't want junior people, so I said not, okay? So this is iterative. You try it out, maybe you don't get the people you want, you refine your search, okay? And here's where you can enter this kind of information. So if I'm gonna click in this search box, click on the magnifying glass. It's a two-step process. Click in the search box, the magnifying glass, you get all these menu options. Click on all filters. And look, here's where you can type in all kinds of things to really fine-tune the audience you're looking for. So the field I was just referring to is, where to go? Title, right here. See, which is title? So I could take that search string. I like to compose these in Word, right? So I'm just going to copy it right now. I'll do it in Word. I can take that search string, put it right in here, and who knows? Maybe you're, you type an industry in. Maybe you're interested in, financial services or whatever, right? Doesn't matter. Maybe a certain region. We won't spend a lot of time on this now, but you can really fine tune it. Click apply. Ooh, it didn't work. Retry search. That never happens. I hope it won't happen again. Okay, it didn't. Whew. So that's what it is with technology, and this is all like live. So I never know what's going to happen exactly. But anyway, you can see like these are people that show up in my search that are at the right level because of that search string I put in. Okay, so I might want to reach out to these people. Now, if I'm getting the wrong people in here, I can refine the search. I can go back to all filters. I can, I can change the industry. I can make it first or second degree connections. So in other words, people that I might already be able to get introduced to, or maybe reach out directly because I know them, so I might want to do that. I might pick specific companies. I want to look for event planners at Gartner or Google because I want to reach out to them. You can type in specific companies. There's a lot of things you can do here. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more you can do. You can leverage your alumni network in a very sophisticated way on LinkedIn. There are many other ways to find people. but we only have so much time. So that's.
Well, let me ask you another question though, Rob, because I know we're getting close to the end. But suppose somebody wants to be on LinkedIn. They want to set up a profile. It's a little overwhelming to them. Is this a service you can provide to individuals? Can you go into a company or to a business and say, here, I can set up your profile for you?
I really appreciate that question. Thank you, Deb. Yes, that's exactly what I do. I do that almost every day for clients. I help them with their profiles, with their company pages, and with using LinkedIn to build these very sophisticated searches, So if you're interested in that, what I would recommend you do is, let me just, first of all, I'm giving you an offer, a special chamber offer, okay? So if you reach out to me in the next 2 days, I'll make it Friday until 5 p.m. Just email me, okay? I'll give you a 40% discount. Usually I'm charging for 3 hours, $1,200 for a 3-hour consult. I'll drop it to $720. And that means, and you can use those 3 hours in any way you want. Like you can use them like in half-hour increments, 15-minute increments, whatever, plus another half-hour consult just to figure out how we're going to use those 3 hours. You have a year to use them. How you reach out to me is, email me. Just let me know between now and the end of Friday at 5, that you want to do this, and I'll give you a discount. You can reach out to me after that too, obviously. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me as well. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important that the chamber can, I can introduce our members to, technology that will help them build their business. And this is an investment in your business. And I was in advertising for many years, and people used to refer to advertising as an expense, not an investment. But for examples of individuals who used marketing effectively and their companies are very successful, you can see it was an investment. And setting up the right profile I'm not gonna say it's complicated, but it is a strategy. And to have the services like yours, Rob, who can help get it on the right track immediately is great. And I appreciate you offering our members this discount. And I urge members who are not presently on LinkedIn and should be taking advantage of its power to contact you and take advantage of this offer. So thank you so much.
Sure. Glad to be able to do that, and I'm happy to take questions. I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but again, we only have a limited time. So
I think you have, right? You've talked about this a lot over the years. So how did you get involved with LinkedIn, though? I'm just,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How did you get involved with being a LinkedIn professional?
I got involved because I was helping clients succeed in their careers. That was my business, and LinkedIn was on my radar. I just said, I really got to learn this thing to help my clients. And when I got into it, I was like, wow, this is a fantastic tool. Everyone needs to know about this. So that's when I said, I'm going to write a book to instruct, individuals and businesses on how to get the most out of LinkedIn. And then it just sort of built from there after I wrote that book. And by the way, here's the book, in case you're interested. It's sort of taken off from there.
And I'm not going to ask specifically, but since you've been on LinkedIn, how have you seen your business grow?
Well, it's just, it's a significant part of my business. I mean, my business is maybe a third of my business is LinkedIn. Another third is, executive coaching. And then the remaining third is just a diverse set of corporate, workshops and organizational workshops on things like, employee engagement, communication skills, leadership, presentations, pitches. I do a lot of workshops like that as well. So it's like a third. That's how I would think of it.
Well, I thank you very much for being with us today. I don't know if there are any questions out there. You can type them in, or there is Rob's email. You can email him directly. I do want to mention that our live stream seminar series is sponsored by Westchester Marketing Cafe, who was our host last week on talking about Google Analytics. And I have brought her in, and she's setting up the Chamber's analytics. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I encourage you to reach out to Rob, speak to him, see how you can set yourself up, get his expertise. Let's do it right the first time. And I just thank you, Rob, for bringing this to us and having more presentation, you giving us more information in the future.
And Rob and
Thanks, Deb.
Deb,
I appreciate it.
it's Mike, and we do have a question from the audience. We have,
Okay.
let's see, from Chip Conlon. Rob, great presentation as always. Given the visuals are what people apparently want to see versus reading content, how effective is posting a video on LinkedIn?
Okay, so I think thanks, Chip, for the question. So the question is, how effective is posting a video on LinkedIn to, to illustrate? I think your question is, how effective would it be to post a video on LinkedIn to illustrate how to use it? Well, I think it would be very effective. I think, doing a webinar that's recorded, sort of like this one, maybe just expanded, would go a long way. Just to see how people, where I move the cursor and what buttons I press and all that. I think that could be very effective. And I've done that. I've had, webinars and workshops recorded where most of it is just a live demo of LinkedIn. So I think that answers your question.
Sounds good, and we'll just do a quick shout out, Bruce Apar and Pedro Xavier Alvarado tuning in and giving us a thumbs up. So great job, folks, on the presentation. And we'll put Rob's contact info up one more time, just so folks who might want to, and Rob, you want to just mention that special again?
Sure, yeah. If you want to get a 40% discount on my consulting for LinkedIn, just email me before 5 o'clock on Friday, and you'll get the deal. So for 3 hours, it'll be $720, not my usual $1,200. So yeah, and that's it. But you can always contact me anytime, and contact me with questions, whatever you want. So, and I hope to see you all at the Chamber event.
All right, we're all set, Deb. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.